All right, this week it's time to take a sidestep from talking about the supplements and actually get into sleep. So I'm going to talk about the Andrew Huberman. I want to reference his hubermanlabs.com. So I mean, while this is a .com uh, website, and most of like the ones that I usually recommend are like a .edu or .govs. So with Andrew Huberman, he is one of those decent .com ones, and so he is pretty much into like all about sleep and everything. So he's a professor of neurobiology and ophthalmology and everything, and I butchered that and everything. So he's into those at the Stanford Medical School, and so he definitely has the credentials and he has a PhD in that stuff. And so he basically, in a sense, studies the neurobiology and like the benefits of sleep and like how it affects our pretty much like everything. So if you go to the website, which I'll be linking in the comments like usual and everything, he does it takes you right to pretty much his site with the Huberman Labs, and like what pops up is like first off is like a lot of podcast that you've done with the guest speaker Matt Walker. So with that, what they do is that they get into dreaming, lucid dreamings, sleep, mental health, creativity, and learning. And so they pretty much go and not just the Matt Walker and Andrew Huberman, but the whole Huberman website and like the whole a podcast and everything. And all he gets into is like the whole concept of sleep and how important it is to our overall, not only physical health but our mental health as well and everything. So it gets to the point like with sleep, if you think of it like this way, no matter how much time you spend in the gym, how good you eat and everything, you need to be able to also get adequate sleep. So that's why like in pillar number 4, recovery, sleep is like one of, if not the most important part of that pillar. So because with sleep, it lets us in a sense recover from our workouts. So like I go in, I do a massive heavy leg day, like I do 6 sets of squats, say like 400 pounds, and I'm doing like 10 reps each set. And then I go and basically do like an Arnold set, like a workout. And then I'm doing another 6 sets of front step forward lunges, and then reverse lunges. And then of course I'm doing then I do step ups. I do goblet squats. And then of course I end up then I shift over and concentrate on the posterior chain with the hamstrings. I do things the curls, like the machines for the hamstrings. I do deadlifts, and I sit there and I basically spend 2 or 3 hours just pounding my legs and everything. That's where you're basically breaking your legs down, and then once you're done and you go through the rest of the day and then you get to sleep, that's when our body's like, oh hey, now it's time to repair all that damage that we just did in the gym. And so that's where they're in a sense where you actually grow. So that's probably one of the common misconceptions is that you're directly building muscle in the gym. It's more indirect, because what you're doing is you're doing damage to your muscle fibers while you're at the gym, and then while you sleep, your body repairs itself. Like, oh hey, look, we just went under this massive stress and everything. We need to start to rebuild it. And think of building a bridge. If if the unfortunate happening of a bridge collapsing, we go back and okay, well, how do we build this bridge up better and stronger, so that way it doesn't happen again? That's kind of the analogy you're doing with sleep, and you're building your body's sending all these signals, and working in all your functions in conjunction with your workouts. So oh hey, look, we just went under the stress. We need to build ourselves up more so we can handle this stress even better for the next time. So that way, when I go to the next leg workout, I do the same thing, but maybe I can do an extra 5 reps over the course of the workout. And then the third one, maybe I can increase the weight on some of the exercise by an extra 5 pounds. so it builds up your with resistance training. It builds up your, in a sense, resistance to being able to handle that extra load and everything. So with Andrew Huberman, he gets into the whole the neurobiology and the science and and everything behind the concepts of sleep and how it helps us recover from those workouts, and it also gets into the ideas of how it affects our mental health. And so sure, we might be able to get once every in a blue moon or something, get away with a bad night's sleep. But if it's a chronic thing where we're getting burning the candle on both ends of our sleep, we're going to bed late, getting up early, and we get in a sense in that chronic stage of lack of sleep, it has not only a negative effect on our mental health, where we are a lot more irritable, we tend to lash out and all the negative side effects on our mental health. It doesn't give us on the physical side enough chance to recover from those workouts. Like the leg workout example I used, we could go in, do the same, do that leg workout I mentioned, and then not get an adequate sleep, and then by 3 or 4 days later, when we try to go back to our next leg workout, we can maybe do half as much because we haven't recovered, because we're not sleeping properly and everything. So now I came across Huberman. It was probably I want to say it's 2 years ago and not last year, but the people that went to the Athlete X live events can actually correct me, but I'm pretty sure it was 2 years ago. I get this stuff mixed up, but he was at the Athlete X live event, and so he was able to get into all the concepts of the neurobiology, sleep, and the whole the hygiene, sleep hygiene, making sure when we were sleeping, we're not just sleeping. We're making sure when we go into our room, our room is proper temperature, because there are some things that out there that I've come across that states that we want our rooms a little bit colder, so that kind of help with the heat regulation and everything. So I'd have to look at that. I'm just kind of mentioning that something I came across that I haven't looked too deeply in. So it's something that other people can look into as well. So well, like I said, this is a .com website that and I will reiterate that the .edus and .govs are usually the ones to go to. With .coms, like I've said in the past, you kind of have to okay, let me double check this and everything. But haven't been able to listen to him present and do a lecture in a sense for free, because this is one of the benefits of going to the AX Live event. Is on Fridays is pretty much the conference, so you get to listen to people like Andrew Huberman here talk about a specific subject, and you get to learn, and so that way you can go even deeper into these subjects and everything. So I'm taking this side step now to talk about this because sleep is probably one of, if not the most important aspect of our health and everything, because we get everything else in line. And if we're sitting there, like I said, if we're sitting there screwing ourselves by burning the candle on both ends with our sleep, all that progress that we're making in the gym and having our proper nutrition and making sure we're surrounding ourselves with good people and everything, that can go out the window with inadequate sleep and making and bad sleep habits and everything. So a good idea to do is that a lot of people put out there that are hey, look, this is these are good ideas, is to have a good shutdown routine. In essence, half an hour, 45 minutes before you go to bed, shut off things the electronics here, and kind of in a sense unplug from the matrix, cut off all electronics, phone, TV, your tablets, iPads or whatever. It would be a good idea would be to do reading. Now I do my reading in the morning to kind of get myself mentally stimulated in the morning. So, but what I do for the shutdown process is kind of do journaling. So it usually takes me about 20 minutes or so. So there's a good 20 minutes before I go to bed that lets me kind of unplug and shut down. So that's another good way to do. So you couldn't quite often use maybe if you have a place where a apartment building, or you have your own place. If you have a porch or someplace you can go outside, maybe just go outside for a good 20-30 minutes before you go to bed, and then kind of like come back in and kind of get yourself shut down so you can like do that unwinding, so that way when you get to bed you're not sitting there like having your mind racing like, oh, I got all these things to worry about tomorrow, and like and I did all this day, and like you're worrying about stuff and everything. So this is why like at least for me with the journaling, which is perfect for like a shutdown system, because I can sit there and get like, oh hey, here's all I did for the day, and so that way like I get it down on paper, and I can kind of get the thoughts out of my head, so that way when I go to sleep, like go to bed, it's relatively easier to shut down. So this is one is all about sleep and Andrew Huberman, and like I said, I'll link the I'll put the link in the comment section, and so that way people can actually check this out and everything.